New Torchlight Infinite season is coming out in a few days on July 17 or 18, depending where you live, and this time it's coming out during a perfect time. At this point, Path of Exile 1 League has been out for more than a month, and there is still a lot of time before the next Path of Exile 2 League. So because of this, I want to try out the new season after not playing Torchlight for the past 2 seasons. Good thing is that on top of playing around with the new stuff, I can also discover things from the previous 2 seasons. So in today's video, I want to talk about what has been announced for the new season and what are my plans for it. The new season is called Outlaw, and it is themed around stealing loot from the enemies and their vaults. If you played Path of Exile, you immediately might think that it's pretty much just a copy of the Heist League, but actually, the only similar thing is the theme of the league. The actual mechanics are quite different. It should be a very fun in-map mechanic where Heist is mostly outside of the map. So first of all, when you encounter the outlaw mechanic in maps, you find vehicles transporting goods. Your job is to steal from them. The way it works is that after clicking on the vehicle, it spawns bodyguards that try to run away in different directions. What I would compare it to the most would be loot goblins from Diablo 3 or Diablo 4, where they just run away and once you kill them, they drop loot. The difference here is that after you kill the bodyguards, they spawn a lot of monsters. So you have to decide if you want to kill spawned monsters or try to find the other bodyguards that run away in different directions. This whole encounter is timed, so before you have a build that can kill everything in seconds, you have to decide which enemies to go for. If you kill all of the bodyguards, you can loot the tower coins from the vehicle, which is the main currency of the outlaw mechanic. Robbing the vehicles increases your crime rating, which is the meta progression of this season. The higher the rating, the better bounties you get, which give you additional rewards for completing the side objectives while robbing the vehicles. Some of these bounties cost tower coins, so make sure to loot them before you get any bounty, and you might want to choose to complete only the ones that give you actually good rewards to not waste your coins. Another way to spend your tower coins is to spend them to open vaults, which is the pinnacle encounter of the outlaw mechanic. So kinda on the same level as completed City of Eterna or the pirate boss for the Black Sail mechanic. The way it works is you have a limited amount of time to open as many vaults as possible. Each opened vault makes the encounter harder, so opening all of them might be a challenge. Apparently these encounters are not too common, so it's not like the heist in PoE, where you can farm a ton of contracts and blueprints in a row. It's just something you do from time to time, but the rewards are supposed to be very good because of its rarity. Now, every seasonal mechanic has its own special drops, and for the outlaw mechanic it is the tower tokens. These are used for various gambling mechanics. If you play PoE, the most familiar one is going to be the card gamble, where you can use fluorescent memories to double their amount or to lose them all. Another one that is very interesting is rerolling the implicit on corroded item, or trying to cleanse it from the corrosion, but it also has a chance to destroy the item instead. This is especially useful if you are searching for a specific corrosion outcome, but there is limited amount of cheap bases on the market. So you can use this gamble to try to get a desired outcome on the same base multiple times. But the one I think is the most interesting and very powerful is rerolling base affixes on the priceless gear. This reminds me of Vivid Vulture's synthesis mods rerolling from PoE, but here you have a chance to remove the base affix from the item. Still, this is going to be very useful because there is a lot of worthless base affixes, so even if you lose them, you're not going to be too sad, but if you hit something good, you can make quite a lot of currency. This also might make bases with good base affixes much cheaper than normally, but I guess this is going to depend on the rarity of the tokens needed for this reroll. Outlaw Season also offers a new crafting system which allows you to add powerful sequence modifiers to rare weapons and shields. To do it, you have to spend some currency and roll the tokens to hit the sequence that matches the desired mod. This means that getting the one that you are looking for might be very expensive, but it is very well worth it. Some of them give mini eternity buff, explode modes, or +2 skill levels, so they can be very powerful. The one I am definitely looking forward to getting the most is called Heart of Corona, which gives you Origin effect for every aura you have, and Aura effect for every Origin buff you have, which basically means you get massive amounts of Aura and Origin buff effects, and I'm planning to play Iris, so this is definitely going to be very good for me. But it also might mean that it's going to be very, very expensive. The new hero trait this season is Rosa 2, the Unsullied Blade. If you watched me playing Torchlight before, you know that I like to play minion builds, so I personally don't have any interest in playing the new hero, but in case you want to play it, she is based around stacking mana to increase her damage, and she can also make her damage to be taken from mana before life for massive defense boost. Like any new hero, she is probably going to be very powerful, but to be able to play her this season, you have to buy the Battle Pass. Also, usually gear for the new hero is very expensive, so if you are not the best at making currency, I would not recommend playing this hero. In terms of reworks and balance changes, the imbue skills have been reworked and now they are called focus skills, which build up charges under certain conditions and then unleash effects once enough charges has been gathered. Again, I'm planning to play minion build, so these changes are not really affecting me, but if these turn out to be very powerful, it might create some currency farming strategies that are good at dropping their priceless, magnificent, or noble versions. The one big rework I am interested in though is the Moto 1 rework, which now makes his minions deal more damage depending on how much life his minions have recently consumed. To further increase this playstyle, we now have new legendary gloves, which basically give you that effect. For every 5% life lost by the synthetic troop in the last second, they gain 9% additional damage. Moto's Go for Broke hero talent now gives you increasing overload effect for every 5% life consumed by the synthetic troop in the last second. This hopefully is going to make Moto more interesting, but unfortunately I played Moto many times already and I haven't played Iris that much, so that's the hero I'm going to play this time. More specifically, I want to play Iris 2 because I only played her for like 2 days when she was released, so now I want to play her much longer than that. Iris 1 also got a nice buff, now she gets additional cooldown recovery speed for Spirit Magi, which should help her a lot. For other notable minion changes, Horn Ring now gives much more critical strike damage, up to 120, and it also gives up to 240% critical strike rating, which is quite a lot. But it doesn't give any defense and makes you take 6 to 10% additional damage, so it's fully a glass cannon item. Fiend Crown no longer provides minions movement speed and attack speed, but this mod doesn't really matter too much, so losing it only reduces our damage by a little bit, so Fiend Crowns should still be a very powerful item, especially at the season start. Some origin buffs granted by the Spirit Magi have been nerfed, like the Rock one, now only increases armor effectiveness by 2% instead of 8%, and Erosion Magus can reduce the damage taken by up to 50% instead of 70%, which should especially nerf the defense of Iris 2, but she still should be fine. On the positive note, the Winter of Origin belt, which now drops from the Traveler Time Arc 8 instead of 7, requires only 5 focus blessings instead of 10, which previously was extremely hard to obtain and not really worth it. The last big rework this season is the Talent Trees rework. Each god got a new talent tree for a total of 5 talent trees for each god. Also, now instead of choosing 3 talent trees, you can now choose 4 of them. To make the power creep not too crazy, each tree now grants you only 1 core talent instead of 2, but you can choose from 4 of them instead of 3. The only exception is the first tree that you choose, which still has 2 core talents, and you choose between 3 choices. So total, you can have 5 core talents, where previously we were able to get 6 of them. But this also means that now Pedigree of Gods that can have 2 core talents can have any of them. So there is no distinction between tier 1 and tier 2 core talents anymore. For the Netherrealm, we got few new Prime Constellation talents, which should shake up the farming meta. For example, there is one node that lets you allocate major talent nodes without having to connect to them through the minor talent nodes, but reduces your overall drops by 50%. This should let you specialize into more mechanics, but each one of them is not going to be as strong because of the reduced drops and also missing some small talents, which are very often very powerful for these mechanics. Another major talent that is very powerful is the one for boss rushing, which gives you 25% chance to spawn 4 additional random bosses in a map if you are not using any compass. Sunlord mechanic is not something I know too much about since I haven't played last season, but it has been added to the core gameplay. It is basically a city building mechanic, which now is much faster to develop, so I'm looking forward to discovering how it works this time. There also have been added some quality of life improvement, and the one I am mostly excited about is improvement to the search optimization for the trade house. I really like trading in this game and figuring out the economy, but it is very frustrating when price check would show you incorrect prices and you would have to search for the prices manually. So apparently this has been fixed, so hopefully no more issues with price check mechanic, which you can now also use from any menu in game, like hero ranking and so on. Now, a little bit about my plans for the season. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm planning to play Iris 2, which has been nerfed significantly. People are saying that the biggest nerf to it is removal of one of the blending mods on the belt from the Sandlord mechanic, but I haven't played last season, so I don't know how big of a change that is. To counterbalance it, we are getting the sequence mods on the weapons, so hopefully with them it's not gonna feel as bad. And I have a strong feeling that Iris 2 was so strong that even after this nerf, she is still going to be very powerful. And what I'm planning to farm is my old favorite, Mistfill. I don't know why, but there is just something about Mistfield that I really like, and I wouldn't be surprised that if after the initial season start, once I start farming Mistfield, I'm just going to stay there until the end of the season. So if you are looking for some tips on how to complete Mistfield more efficiently, you can check out my stream, link is in the description, where I'm going to be playing Torchlight all the time, starting from the day 1 of the season. But that's going to be it for this video, so thanks for watching and see you next time.